Ryan, do you all have anything you'd like to respond to, just to set any records straight, or with any comments that you felt you wanted to reply to?
There was some comment about not having parking for the park, and I think another speaker identified that. I don't have the exact number memorized, but 215 spaces or so. So the parking for the park was determined by counting the parking that exists in all the other Easton parks, and in discussion with town staff about what the parking demands are. So there is parking within the park. I think there's also some confusion about what Mr. Lenhart said about traffic signals. So the state only allows the installation of a traffic signal if the vehicle conflicts, if the warrant analysis is met. The complete build out of this project would not support a traffic signal on Oxford Road. So the analysis has been done, the State Highways reviewed it, and has advised that they would not permit a signal on Oxford Road. The opposite is true for the southern access to the property. So the access that is at Tristan Drive and the bypass, or with Washington Street comes into the bypass at Tristan Drive, at some point in the build out, the signal warrant would be met, and the state highway would permit and require a traffic signal, which would be constructed by the developer at no expense to the town. Maintenance of the stormwater facilities, that would all be handled privately. So all stormwater facilities within the property would be owned and maintained by the homeowners association. There obviously would be a cost, but that cost would be borne by the residents of the community, not by the taxpayers or other residents of the town. All of the stormwater facilities will have easements. The town will have access to those. We'll be able to inspect those to ensure that they're being maintained. But there'll be covenants that require those to be maintained by the community. And then the last comment, Mr. Alsbach made a comment about decoupling the PUD and the growth allocation, and I want to be clear about my comments at the beginning of this. The subject of this hearing tonight is growth allocation, so that's why we focused on the environmental components of the project. The Town Planning Commission members know that we actually filed the PUD application first. So it's not our desire to necessarily decouple the process. It's just a desire tonight to make sure when we had these joint bodies together that we focused on what was relevant to both the town and the county. The town has land use design preferences and priorities that would guide the configuration of the project, and those are typically expressed more through the PUD process. So it's our initial belief that we should start the PUD process, work through that with the town, and get to some level of design sense from the town before we added in, the growth allocation dynamic. The town had a preference that the growth allocation application be filed, and that the growth allocation hearing occur with a growth allocation decision before PUD. We're ambivalent about the process. They both have to happen. They both have to come together. And we can't get growth allocation and then have a different land plan for the PUD. We can't build the project with PUD approval without growth allocation. So in my mind, they really are appropriate to be considered together. They're just not necessarily the same standards that the County Planning Commission considers. Thank you.